if you have blocks, or weights or cans or water bottles, you might want them nearby. Let's go ahead and start on our backs. All right, I'll try to make this a shortish practice just to wake you up, or maybe pull you back to sleep. So once you make it to your back, hug your knees in and gently rock side to side a little. Soles of the feet can come to the ground. I take my feet a bit wider and let your knees kind of roll in towards each other. And that can allow for the curve in the low back to happen. Hands can fall wherever. If you want to be more connected to the breath, keep them somewhere on chest and belly to really feel the rise and fall of the breath. If you would like your shoulders to get a little bit more open, maybe take the arms out to the sides or even out and up. Start with big breaths. Feel the breath as it moves in through the nose or the mouth. Feel where it's going in your body. Like when you inhale, where do you feel it? Feel the exhale, the release. As the breath releases from the body, maybe the body softens. And take a few moments to check in with how we are beginning this practice. Physically, mentally, energetically, emotionally. Where are you? How are you? It's not to be met with judgment. Just acknowledgement. And then pull your mind back to your breath once you've checked in. And maybe the mind can stay with the breath. Letting everything else stay on the sideline for a while. And take another few rounds before we get going. This could be your practice too. While I get going, you stay, you breathe. No need to go anywhere else. If you do want to keep going, stretch the arms out. Oh man. Oh, as you stretch your arms out, let both knees fall to one side. And then come back through center and both knees fall to the other side. Breathe. Come back to center. Roll to your right side. onto your right arm, stacking the shins, stacking the knees. And then bring the right hand behind you, so behind your shoulder blades. And you're gonna notice if it's not okay for your shoulder, you're not gonna take it that far. Maybe it stays straight, maybe you can bend your elbow. Roll back onto your back, so you're now kind of pinning the arm underneath. And my left hand grabbed my right elbow. And then it's just the same thing that we were. The knees pulling together. If it feels good, you can always stretch out your legs instead. And if it feels like it's too much, like I said, unravel the right arm. Maybe it's just hand to opposite wrist, or even cactus the arms, or straighten out like a T. So always to the space that works for you, never forcing yourself into a certain space. And let your body get heavy. When you breathe, kind of go all the way through this right side, your right ribs, your right armpit, all the way up to the tricep. Gravity doing the work here. Three more rounds of breath. And then carefully roll yourself back on over. Stretch out the right arm. Stretch out your left arm. So my right hand's grabbing my left wrist, and then just reach through the left heel. Reach through the left heel. Bring your left leg in front of your right, so the top leg kind of pulls in front of the bottom. And that's just kind of a support space. And then let your left arm reach back. So notice my whole self, the torso rolled back. I'm no longer shoulder on top of shoulder. The left shoulder is almost touching the ground. Yours might even touch the ground. And then go ahead and continue to circle that arm all the way around. If there's a space that's like, whew, breathe into it. You can do a few of these, maybe 2's enough. Reverse the circle, take it around. If you're hitting a wall, move away from it. You have that option. And then from here, when you feel like, that's it, I'm good, pull yourself back to center, hug your knees into your chest. Gently rock out the sides. And then you're gonna roll over to the other side. So left arm reaches by your ear, feet come down, roll on over, stacking yourself up. And then the left fingers come in between the shoulder blades. And this right hand can already kind of help slide it in. As you roll back to your back, maybe getting a little bit tighter. Head is on the arm as much as possible. This side can be totally different than the other side, so adjust as you need to. Feet a bit wider, knees can roll in, creating that space in the low back, that natural arc that you have in your spine. And then just chill out. Let your body get heavy. Let your body feel your breath, your inhale. Creating space, your exhale. Softening, letting go. Two more rounds. And then slow and careful, we start to roll ourselves over to the left. Stretching the left arm out. Grab hold of your top wrist, your right wrist. Reach through the right fingers. Push through the right heel. Stretch and breathe into that side body. And then as we let this go, let the top leg, the right leg, kind of pull forward of the left just so you have some support. And now this right arm can reach back and roll your chest, roll your shoulders, breathe. So your body's moving with your arm. Your arm is not separate from the rest of the body. Pull it around. Torso moves, arm moves. I'm just gonna do two. Reverse the direction. Feels good somewhere? Stay. Breathe into it. Carry it around. All right, back onto your back. Hug the knees in, rock it out side to side. Both legs up to the sky. Circle out your ankles. Both directions. Press through your heels, toes pull to the shins. If your knees can't be totally straight, that's fine, have a bend in them. So my hands are here, my arms are down, my hands are in front of my thighs. See if you can pull your legs kind of into your hands so that your hands are supporting, not like so much effort through the legs. So my knees are bent, feet are relaxed. And if you can get the idea of your sitting bones separating, even here, separating, opening up, and creating that arc in your low back again. Just kind of wiggling around some. Getting some space. Maybe you have no idea what I'm talking about, and if that's the case, just let yourself kind of hang out here for a few more breaths. Left sole of the foot to the ground. Reach behind the right thigh. And then imagine that your right leg is trying to kick down towards the ground and your hands are trying to pull the leg in. So take an inhale where everything's just sort of relaxed. And as you exhale, kick and pull at the same time. Inhale, soften. Exhale, kick and pull. Two more. One more. Exhale, kick and pull. And then just see what feels good. Walk your hand up a little bit more. Maybe even straighten out your left leg. Bend the right knee, cross it over the body. Take a little bit of a stretch, a little bit of a twist. Gaze can go to the right. Drop that right hip down some. And then as you pull the right knee back to center, right hand grabs the kneecap and then walks its way up to the ankle perhaps. Maybe it's behind the thigh. Pinky edge of the foot. Left hand can stay on the left hip and gently rock yourself side to side in a half happy baby. And even that, explore space. Does it feel good to stretch the leg off to the right side? Bring the right knee in, left knee comes in. Both legs up to the sky. Find the sacrum, so that flat bone. Have some space between the back and the floor, and then let the hands support the legs. Imagine again the sitting bones trying to move away from each other, creating a little bit more space, but again, if none of that resonates, just legs up, hands support the legs, breathe. Right foot to the ground, grab behind the left thigh. Then here we go again, that push-pull action. Take an inhale and everything's soft. Exhale, press the leg and pull it at the same time. Inhale, soften. Exhale, press and pull. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Last one, big one. Maybe it lasts a little bit longer. Exhale, push, pull, push, pull, push, pull. And then let it go. Maybe the hands can go up a little bit higher. Maybe the right leg stretches out. Just explore your body, explore this space. What or how can you make it work for you? How can you make it work for you? Bending the left knee, cross it over the body. Left hand can go out, gaze can go to the left. Coming back through center, left hand grabs the left kneecap. Walks up, so it could be right behind the thigh, calf, ankle, half happy baby. Let the body roll around a little bit. Feels pretty good, just stretch it off and out to the side. You can do that. Again, like it's not the end. You're not like, stretch. It's like, what's it feel like here and here? And if I breathe into it, is that okay? Like, take your time finding, moving. And then you can pull it back in. Both knees come into the chest, rock it outside side. I really don't want to get off of the floor. Gonna do it though. All right. Good in your body to rock back and forth a few times. Take that. Roll to your side if that's better. Come up to seated. Hands to the shins, round your back, look at your navel. Inhale, bring the heart up to the sky. Roll to the right through the rib cage. Take it back through cat. Roll to the left, back to center. Go to the left through cat. Go to the right, back to cow. One more time each side. Just following your breath. And when you meet in cow, shoulders are back. Sitting bones are lifting, heart is opening. Exhale again, rounding, hugging the navel in, the pelvis tilted. Let your head rock and roll left, right. Inhale, find a tall spine. Right hand reaches down, left hand reaches out, up and over. Breathing in, breathing out. Switch sides, left hand down, right hand out, up and over. Come back to center. Bring the feet in and left foot forward. My right foot is a little bit forward of the knee, more like the calf. And you're gonna imagine your left foot And it's actually going to move. You're going to imagine kicking your heel forward so that from your pelvis sort of tilts. So the left hip pulls forward and the right hip pulls back. So, ready? Exhale, kick through the left heel, grab on, and then just take a twist. So the pelvis is not centered. The left hip, the left sitting bone has moved forward of the right sitting bone, and you're kicking through that left heel. And just give it some breath. Feel free to move through your head. Oof. And then we're pretty much going to stay here, but now open up so that the right leg comes in. So we still have got the pelvis kind of at an angle. Keep your left hand down, stretch your right arm out and up. And I'm using my left arm to kind of rest into the thigh to give some support. And just breathe into the right side body. There's always options, right? If it feels good to have your hand support your head, and in that case I would push my head back some. It can be a lot in your right shoulder though, so again, mindful movement. And then pulling yourself back up, taking your time with it. Got this space in between the legs. You can walk the sitting bones back a little bit, open them up a little bit, and then just see. It doesn't have to be deep. If we keep pulling the sitting bones back and reaching the heart forward, where does that take us into it? Both hands can walk to the left. Keep pushing through that left heel. Keep pulling back through the right hip a little bit. And then walking back to center. And then finally all the way up. Easy peasy to get back. Bring the right leg in. Ooh. Bring the left leg in. Maybe a little bit of movement through the hips. Other side. Right leg forward, so the left foot's about at the calf. And then you're gonna move. So as we twist, you're gonna kick the right foot forward. It's like you're trying to push through. If I had a block right there, I would knock your block. And knock the block off, so push through. And then you're twisting around. So the pelvis moved. Breathe. Full inhale. Open up the chest, open up the back. Keep that right leg active, pressing through like you're still kicking, you're still reaching. And then from here, we'll let the left leg fall. And you've still kind of pushed your way through that right. Take a little bit of a twist, reach yourself up and over. The right arm can be down for support. If it felt good, feels good, not felt. Because the other side could be totally different than this side. If it feels good on this side, keep lifting. Use your left elbow. Lift it, reach it, press your head back. Keep your breath super active. Pulling yourself up carefully, mindfully, release the arm, move it around a little bit. And then that space right in the center. Feel the sitting bones move back and the heart lift. And maybe there's that little bit of a fold. walk the hands closer into the right leg. Breathe into your back. Walking back to center, rising up, both legs forward. Shake them in and out, in and out, in and out. Top of the thigh at the hip moving. And then let the toes, so from the thighs, roll in, toes in a little bit. Walk right sitting bone, left sitting bone back, and then just hold a little bit into that. Keep the heart open, the chest open. From here, bring yourself back up, hands behind you, feet come in, shoulders roll back, heart lifts, press into the feet and lift up. Doesn't have to be high, maybe you're just down here. Actually, let's all of us be down. And then rock it back and forth a couple times to stretch out the wrist and the ankles and the toes. And if you feel like you can, lift your chest, lift your hips a bit higher. Use your glutes here. Push through the heels, squeeze the inner thighs, squeeze your butt. Breathe. One more. Lowering down. We'll cross the ankles and bring ourselves over to all fours. Hands and knees. Tuck your toes. So either fingertips out to the sides or fingertips in towards your knees. And my fingers and my knees are going to be pretty close together. Toes are tucked, and just see if you can pull your body weight back to sit on your heels and stretch out. And breathe. Could be a slight bend in your elbows. You don't have to go very far back. You could be closer if you need to be. You could be further if it works in your body. Keep space so your shoulders are not collapsing around your ears. The shoulders are away from your ears, the neck is long. And then return the hands back to center. Take this little bit more distance and actually untuck the toes and give them a little tap. From here, make a fist. And this can be done one at a time. So make a strong fist. And what does that look like? You're not like this or down this way, right on top of the knuckles. And then again, the closer your knees are, the more supportive it is. And we're just going to roll down to the pinky edge and hover the shins. Hover the forearms, and then you're just going to press back up. So rolling down, pressing back up, and rolling down, and pressing back up, and rolling down. Squeeze the elbows toward each other so they're not opening as you go. And think of like a plank. You want your abdominals to support you here. My family is yelling in the background. Oh, good morning. 2 more. 1 more. Clearly my oldest is awake. All right, so now we're going to come forward, and if your thumb is on it, it's going to hurt, so wrap your thumb around the fingers. And then here we're going to come just to the thumb. So let's go forward. Whew. And back up. Forward. Ooh, that right side. And back up. Forward. And back up. I'm just going to stay and breathe for a moment. So I'm going to push forward. Inside of the elbow, spinning forward. Take a couple breaths. If holding it doesn't work for you, then just keep moving in and out of it. 2 more. One more. Come back. Whew. Shake it out. Shake it out. Spread your fingers really wide. Press into all 10 fingers, all 10 knuckles. Grip. And then tuck the toes, pull your hips back. I'm gonna bring my hands a little bit wider. Hug the navel in, open up the shoulder blades. And then try to pull back through the hips. Knees can stay soft. Move in your down dog. And then walking your feet forward to meet your hands. You can start to come up to fingertips. As your feet come forward, maybe bring the hands to the shins, heels press out, squeeze through the glutes, open up through the chest. Exhale, fold into yourself, let your head go. Inhale, use your legs, use the hamstrings, use the glutes, squeeze. And then hands can come above the knees to the thighs, squeeze, 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 squeeze to rise up. Feet a little bit wider, heels out, toes in slightly, hands to the sky. Grab the left wrist, press through the foot to lift up and arc over to the right, breathe. Come back to center, press through the right foot, lift up, switching the grip of the wrist, up and over, breathe. Come back to center, both hands free, lift up through the chest, send the pelvis forward and up, bend the elbows, open through the upper back, the heart. Stay and breathe. And then as you pull yourself up, bend the knees a little if you need to. Have your hands go up and your head go down. And then wiggle this side to side. Right hand grabs left ankle, left hand to the hip. Bend into the right knee, pulling your weight into your heel. And then find a twist. Switch, left hand comes to right, right hand to the hip, bend into the left knee, pulling the weight into the left heel, twist. Bringing both hands down to the ground, step your left foot back to lunge, soften the left knee down, look up with the heart, and then move in and out, bend and straighten. I'm gonna grab my blocks. If you have blocks or weights or whatever you got, water bottles, straighten out the right leg. And then from the hip here, spin the toes to the right. So externally rotate. And then bring the toes to center and then internally rotate. Now the toes roll in. Maybe there's a little bit bigger of a fold. Pulling back through that right sitting bone. Breathing. Bending back into the right knee. Block, no block, whatever works. Bring the hand. Let your left hip sink a little bit. And as you do it, you can even spin. It's at the hip. Spin the toes to the right, letting that left hip dip some. Maybe reaching the right hand up to the sky. Breathe. So notice my back foot sort of turned too. Everything's rotating to the right. And then rotate back to center, bring the right hand on the inside, lift the left knee, and now walk over wide leg. Toes in, just fold. So heels out, toes in. Let your body move from left to right and right to left. And then we're going to walk it all the way around to the left. Oh, I'm going to take my blocks with me. Walk around to the left. Soften the right knee down. And in and out of the left leg a few times. And then again, maybe you have your blocks. Straighten out your left leg. Spin, so from the top of the thigh, spin to the left. center, internally rotate. And you're just really just feeling it out. Like, what does that feel like in my pelvis, in my back, in the hamstring? Allow for some more length. Sitting bones back, heart forward, maybe a little bit more of a fold. And then back into the knee. Find some lift. Let your right hip roll forward. So it's twisting the whole self. It's not just at the pelvis. It's even the left inner or the right inner thigh. And then sole of the left foot can lift, and then everything kind of rolls over to the left. Not dumping weight into the shoulder though. Lifting out of it. Breathing. Bring the hands on the inside. Lift up that back leg. Again, walk it wide. Side to side. Move around, breathe. Use the legs, press into the heels, squeeze through the hamstring, the glutes, separating, opening, rise all the way up. Hands to the sky. Grab for opposite elbow. So there's always a lead hand. My left arm's going back more, my right arm's going on top. Bend through the knees, lift up your heart, lift up your chest, take a little bit of an upper back bend. And move it around some, to the left, to the right. Both of the hands can reach out, all the way out, all the way out, like you're gonna touch opposite walls. Whew, and then bring them to your hips. Spin the right toes forward, bend into the right knee a little bit. Step, just step to the top. Let the hips rock from left to right, right to left. And then as if you're drawing a circle, move through the pelvis. So body weight goes into the heels, might move a bit forward. Reverse your circle. And then grounding through the feet, inhale, arms to the sky. Catch right wrist, maybe it gets deeper. Can you bring the hand behind and now it's more, grab right elbow. Lift up first and then over. Pushing the head back into the arm. Letting it go, lift up, over, grab the left elbow. Pushing the head back into the arm. Inhale, both arms to the sky. Bend the knees, lift the heart. Breathe. Hands go up, head goes down. Let your head really release. Hands down to the ground. Step your right foot back to lunge. Soften the knee down. So imagine trying to pull that right knee towards the top of the mat. Energize the legs, press through the toes, lift your heart up, big inhale. Left hand presses into the left thigh to help get a little bit more lift, a little bit more up and back. Breathing into that right hip. Hand comes down to the inside. This time we lift up the right knee. Left hand to the ground, straighten out best you can both legs. Sitting bones pull back, heart lifts, blocks would have been a good idea, but I left them all the way at the end of the mat. And then perhaps we can go a little bit more into it. Same idea to find our twist. So as you bend into the left knee, so I'm already kind of lifting up the sole of the left foot. As I bend into the left knee, my right heel's going to the right some, opening through the left hip, letting the pelvis move with you. Twisting. And then spinning it back around, hand on the inside, walking wide, heels out, toes in. Let yourself release. Bend into the right knee, pull the weight into the heel. Press through the pinky edge of the left foot. Bend into the left knee, pull your weight into your left heel. Press through the pinky edge of the foot, opening up the ankle, the inner thigh. Coming back to center, just be there for a moment, breathing in. Walk your hands around to the right. Soften the right knee down. Pressing through the toes, squeeze as if your knee was going to pull towards the top of the mat. Use that energy to lift you up. Right hand can, and it doesn't have to, maybe both your hands just sort of settle on here for support. But if we press down, we can also find the lift and maybe a little bit more up and back. Breathing in and out. And then as the hand comes down, did I forget the forward and backwards? I did, didn't I? Forgot to stretch us out. So, rewind. Lift up the leg and move in and out. Or did that come after? I can't remember. We'll figure it out together. Alright. 2 straightish legs. Lift up your chest. Maybe melt into it a little bit deeper. Pull back through the right hip. I think this was the right order. Okay. So, as you're bending into the right knee, can you also just, you don't have to lift it like I have it super high, but find that it's more in the heel and lighter in the ball. That way it's all just going to move as one unit. So it's moving from your hip. So as we start to drop the left heel, the back heel to the left, you're spinning the toes to the right, and the hips are moving with you. And you can lift up and find a twist. And then circle the right arm back on the inside, walk it around again. Heels out, toes in, let your head go. Okay, so now as you bend into the right knee and pull your body weight back, can you walk your hands out and over to the left? So from your right heel all the way through these right ribs, possibly the left hand grabs the right ankle and use the bend of the elbow to spin you underneath your right. And maybe stretch out your right leg. And yes, your pelvis is off-centered, and that's okay. The left hip drops, the right hip lifts. Breathe. Maybe pull back through the right hip a little bit more. Bending back into the right knee, left hand meets right hand. Carry it to center, adjust. And then as you bend into the left knee and you pull your body weight back to the left heel, your hands reach forward and arc over. So there's that stretch through the left side. This is enough if you just want to stay. Or now the right hand can reach towards the left ankle. Maybe it touches, maybe it doesn't. Again, doesn't matter. And then as you bend your right arm, you might be able to look underneath your left arm a little bit more. And breathe. That's enough, or you could move, straightening the leg. Pelvis is not level. Right hips dipping, left hips rising. Pull back through the left hip a little bit more. Bending back into the knee, right hand meets the left hand. Walk back to center. Think of a big down dog here, so hands walk forward. And if you could, your hands don't really go anywhere, but imagine they're trying to push out to the sides, and can that move all the way into your shoulder blades? Hug your front ribs in and really lift up through the sitting bones. So the sitting bones are trying to lift up and move back. You could be on blocks and breathe. And then walk the hands in closer. Squeeze through the hamstrings, the glutes. Use your legs to rise all the way up. Hands to the sky. Okay, so we're grabbing opposite. So my left arm was kind of the lead arm last time. Right hand grabs left, and then think of lifting up and maybe back. Maybe up is enough. One more breath. And then so slow, carry the arms out while you breathe. Reaching, reaching, reaching. Reach through the fingertips. Arms are heavy. Hands to the hips. Spin your left toes forward. Bring body weight into the left foot. Right foot meets. Shake it out. Feet are wide again. Let the hips just move from left to right and right to left. Inhale, arms to the sky. Okay, so if we want to go even bigger with it, we've got the left elbow. Let your right hand, so it's lifting up first, and then up and over. Stretch. And then pulling yourself back up. The right hand comes behind, and we think about lifting up and over, and the left hand comes to the left thigh. Push yourself back. Maybe the right hip dips forward. Whatever, move around with it. Both hands reach to the sky. Inhale, bend your elbows. Exhale. Stay for one more inhale. Stay for the exhale. If it feels okay, interlace the fingers, move your fist away from you. Let this torso, the upper body, the hips move side to side. Maybe your head moves around. Lift the heart. Fold. Hands come down to the ground, heel to the feet in nice and close. And then lift up your heels. Take a little perch here. Maybe lift up your hands to your thighs. And then reaching the arms forward, roll on down, all the way down, back to where we began, onto our backs. And gently rock it out side to side. Cross your right thigh over your left, or your right ankle over your left thigh. Sole of the foot can be on the ground. It can be hugged into the chest. And then just switch. And letting that go. If you need a little bit of movement, let the legs rock side to side. And let's take a bridge. Arms down, press into the feet. So squeeze through the hamstrings and use your glutes. Walk your shoulders under you. Keep squeezing through the inner thighs. Using the legs to open up the pelvis. Using the arms to open up the chest. Slowly roll down. Maybe one more twist. Both sides. Any last thing you might want to do, and maybe it's bringing the legs up against the wall for Shavasana. So scoot yourself against the wall and you can have the legs up or even out or even in like a Baddha Konasana space. But if the ground seems like a good idea, get comfy, have some support, close your eyes, and breathe. Take a few moments to check back in. Mentally, physically, emotionally. Begin to deepen your breath. Stretch out through the arms and the legs. Take your time bringing your knees into your chest. And then rolling off to your side. All the way up to seated. Hands to sky as you inhale. Hands to heart as you exhale. Taking a moment to acknowledge yourself, acknowledge this practice, thank yourself for the time. Time to be on your mat, time to connect, time to just breathe and move and create some space for yourself. Deepest inhale. Exhale. Namaste. Have a fantastic day, or if you did that at night, it's cloudy and rainy here, so I'm moving very slowly. Might have been a better nighttime practice to get you ready for bed. But if it's cloudy and rainy where you are, then that was perfect. Let me know if you have any questions. Have a good day.